Good morning, friends of EAE. It's time. My name is Gabriel. It's time for the unofficial announcements of the Entertainment, Arts, and Engineering program at the University of Utah, where I share what's going on, more or less. So here we go. Let's kick it off. This week, this past Friday, there was a game user research virtual summer camp where a lot of volunteers and professionals talked about game user research. One of those in particular was our very own Professor Ashley Brown, who gave a talk entitled FERPA Schmerpa, How to Live Stream Game Playtest During a Pandemic. She talked a lot about the work we had both done playtesting the master's game students as well as the undergrad game students during the pandemic and before, and she gives a lot of the pros and how-tos on playtesting games via Twitch and playtesting in general. She gave that to on Zoom virtually to about 144 participants, and there will be a YouTube video coming out this summer where you can check that. Next on the list, our very own Corinne Lewis, we're excited to say, was voted in at the Academic Senate Advisory Committee on Diversity here at the University of Utah. And I'll tell you what, that advisory committee is better off for it. We're excited to have her input on this. She's always been definitely hardworking for all the students. We're excited to have that position. Next in the news front, we've got our very own Brian Salisbury, who gave the announcement that he does in fact have a Twitter. Now, I want to preface this that I thought that he had just created a Twitter account. Turns out that he's had this account since 2012, but he made his very first tweet this past week. And since then, he's done 5 more. So he's got a total of 6 tweets. We're very proud of him for entering the Twitter sphere, for becoming a tweeter, and for finally putting a ring on that account and making it official. Follow Brian at bsalisburyart, twitter.com, and tell him the Checkpoint Professor sent you. Tell him we want to hear more tweets. All right, congratulations, Brian. That is phenomenal. Okay, we want to do some indie game EAE indie game shout-outs at this point. So this is where I like to shout out all the capstone or graduate games that are being published on Steam at this time. If you're an alumni and you want to share some of the cool games you're working on, you're welcome to send those my way as well. But first on the list is Personal Space. Personal Space is one of my personal favorites. So let me tell you something about Personal Space. I'll read the definition. It says, escape the clutches of friendship and social expectations in this top-down puzzler about living with social anxiety. That's right. This is a social anxiety game, which this game has been in development for 2 semesters. That means that this game was in development long before the pandemic and these social distancing. And in my mind, this is the first social distancing game on the market. It is just now being released on Steam. It is also available on Google Play. So you can check it out on mobile or PC. And it is a unique, beautiful game. And I'm excited to check it out again as it's just been released. On top of that, we have Disarmed, one of our undergrad games as well. A satirical fantasy puzzle game about healthcare. As you can see, it's a zombie game where you use your many dismembered body parts to help you solve these puzzles. It's a beautiful, hilarious game, and definitely worth checking out as well. So the games have been released this week. Tonight at 9 p.m. on my Twitch channel, I will be playing the Steam release of Personal Space, and I could not be more excited. So definitely follow me at twitch.tv/checkpointprofessor, and I'll be playing that. Later on this week, I will be playing Disarmed and a game called Guardian of Lore. Guardian of Lore is a game being created by a small team called Round 2 Games in Ecuador. And Miguel Angel Espinoza Calderon, one of our C8s, is working hard on that. He's one of the artists working on that. And I'm excited to play it. They sent me a Steam key, and I'm going to check it out and show it off to everybody. So follow me on Twitter, and I'll let you know when that's going to be happening. That's twitter.com/GabrielOlsenArt. Check me out. Okay, so that is our news for this week. On top of that, I wanted to tell you that 2020, it's been a crazy year. I'd say it's been rough. A lot of things going on. We got the pandemic, social distancing, self-isolation, quarantine, so the whole gamut, the whole 9 yards. But it hasn't been all that bad, and let me tell you why. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remastered is coming out in September, and I could not be more thrilled about that. It had a pretty big part of my life growing up, so it's kind of fun when those nostalgic games pop up and and they're remastered. And you get to relive the glory days. My throat's getting a little fun. But yeah, I'm excited to check that out in September. If you're an alumni grad or an indie gamer who wants to send me any kind of game news, I would love to give you a shout out on the Monday morning news. Or any kind of news. My throat is about to give out. My eyes are red. I'm actually recording this at like 2:30 a.m. because I'm a nut. So yeah, I put a little bit of work into this, as quick as it is. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button and that little bell, and leave a comment below. Let me know any news you have. I would also love to play your games and shout them out. I'm rambling now. It's time to end this. We'll see you guys next week.